Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and today we have some last-minute class tuning before the race to World First. So here it is. Today we've added the following changes to the full list of changes that will be implemented with the weekly maintenance. Demon Hunter, Havoc, all ability damage increased by 5%. This is actually a pretty relevant change here because, at least from my perspective, there was a lot of consideration of dropping the Havoc Demon Hunter entirely, which then has implications for the rest of your raid comp, where you'd play maybe a Vengeance Demon Hunter instead. So if you're not going to do that, if you now are maybe playing the Havoc again, then that frees up another raid buff to come in as a tank, maybe a Brewmaster or something, and you don't have to play one of the other monks, maybe a Prop Paladin, right, a Warrior or something like that. So actually potentially a very important change here. Death Knight Frost, this is one that I think a lot of people were surprised to not see on the nerf list on Friday. And here they are, pretty substantial nerfs. Obliterate damage 5%. Mossworn Menace now increases the damage of Obliterate by 5%, was 10%. And the 2-piece for Rider is now a 15% increase from 35%. Whereas for Deathbringer, the first scythe damage is actually going up. So a slight buff on the Deathbringer side specifically, although they're still going to eat the Obliterate nerf here. My suspicion is the spec will still be good, but whether it's going to be good enough to be stackable, something that you want, multiple copies of, something that you want to play a comp around, and, buff with Augmentation Evokers, which is something that I was thinking about doing before, maybe a little bit less enticing now, especially on some of the fights, maybe not something you want to bother with. Feral Druid. Ferocious Bite and Ravage primary target up by 6%, Shred 5%, Sabertooth now increases damage from bleeds and other periodic effects by 6% per combo point, and for Wildstalker, 5% up for Bloodstalker or Bloodseeker Vines. So a lot of single target damage increases for Feral here. Actually makes them an interesting option for the Mark of the Wild in a raid buff. My suspicion is that Resto Druid, if my read of Resto Druid being as good as I think it is still right, then I don't think this will matter too much, but maybe this actually makes Feral a very good option for being your Mark of the Wild. Hunter's getting a nerf here to the old BM2 set, just to make sure that you take it off. This is not a relevant nerf to, fully geared players, although I've seen some people reading this and initially being surprised by it, but yeah, it is just a end game. This is to force you off of the Liberation 2 set and not want to hold on to it for as long as you otherwise might have. Frost Mage is just a 3% aura nerf here. Our top minds in the Mage Discord have calculated this as around a 10% nerf to Frost, so that would be pretty big. But in reality here, this spec is probably still good. Maybe this makes some more fights Arcane fights, though. Arcane and Frost were already very close. Probably depended on, the stacking versus not of a fight, and then whether or not you wanted to do burst damage or not. But yeah, this probably moves the pendulum towards most fights being Arcane, maybe? I don't know. That's just a guess. Mystery Monk, Rushing Wind Kick damage down by 50%, so a sizable nerf there to the damage contribution from that. I think that's a lot of M+ damage as well. Shaman, we've got a second round of enhanced buffs here. Storm Strike going up by 10%, Ellie Blast 8%, and Stormbringer Tempest single target damage up by 8%. So more single target buffs here to enhance. My suspicion is we're still talking about a spec that's many hundreds of thousands of DPS less than Ellie, so... It is a very high variance spec, though, so you get some high rolls. Could look really good on some polls. And then finally, Warlock. Demo down by... So Wild Imp down by 20%. Immutable Hatred by 30%. So naively, this would be about a 6% damage nerf. But you can talent out of Immutable Hatred, take some other talents instead. The other side of the tree didn't get nerfed as much, so probably something like 4% net here for Demo, which... That spec's probably still good, maybe even still great. Probably not super duper duper great anymore, which was what it was looking like before. Luckily, Warlock has 2 other great specs, so we might see them getting used, although Destro is getting a nerf to the Diabolist 2-piece, 45% nerf there. So, yeah, look, here's my heuristic when you see 2 Warlock specs get nerfed, just the other one is that one's probably also still great, so maybe just play AF on some stuff. I don't know, maybe you just still play Demo on everything. That spec looked really, really, really good, so we'll see. Anyways, that's it for the update here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.